All right, test. 1, 2. How you guys doing? Get everything set up here. All right, let's get going. Hope you guys are doing well, because you damn sure should be. We got YouTube up, we have Twitch up, and we have Twitter. If you guys could do me a solid favor, retweet, like, drop a comment, do what you can, helps out the algos, and we'll get this thing going. Let me double check. Volume's coming in good. Go to live, and we can get that going. Cool. And double click this. Sorry, I gotta check OBS, make sure it's working right. All right. Stream is up. Cool. All right. Per the usual, welcome to the Rainbow Trends Weekly Whale Watch. This is the Bitcoin Billionaire Dollar Whale stream. Got a lot of stuff to cover. Stuff we've been talking about for weeks. It's finally here. It's finally played out. We're at the all-time highs. We've been talking about this. We're going to go into a ton of stuff today. We're going to celebrate. We're going to have good vibes. We're going to have good times. We're going to cover charts. We're going to cover memes. We're going to cover markets. We're going to cover ETF flows, mining, stuff that triggers me when I see people posting mining stuff. And just a good time. This is going to be a good stream, and I got a lot of stuff to cover, a lot of tabs, but I hope you guys enjoy it. And please subscribe. But this is your guy, Runner, and per the usual, like I said, this is stream is intended for educational purposes only. It's not intended to be used as financial advice. But let's get going. If you're interested in knowing why or wanting an advantage on your trading tools, and you're curious why on earth my charts look like rainbows, it's actually Rainbow Trends. It's the tools that we've developed for getting an edge in the market. If you'd like to sign up and be a client, you can subscribe today for $10 or for your first month, or you can come check out us in the Discord and actually go hang out with the community. We've got free tools. We have premium tools. At the end of the day, the guys who stay with me, they're making more than what the tools are worth. So that's the whole goal, is to make you guys better traders. But moving on, to get this thing going. What's up, Rifu on YouTube? We got YouTube guys. We got Twitch guys. It's all good. And so per the usual, I have this thing going on with Carpe Noctem and his Discord in particular. A long time ago, I made this video, and I absolutely love the client. Is it a client? I think it's Viggle, I think is the name, or Wiggle. It's the name of an AI client, and you can change videos. And pretty much, Josh was one of the few bulls way back when the bears were really putting it to Bitcoin. And Josh held his ground, and I loved it. And I took some screenshots of that interview he did, and I converted it to this video by the power of AI. So thank you, NVIDIA. Thank you for all your stuff that you've done, because by the power of these GTX 5090s, we can do this now. And if you're a bull and you're here, man, you guys deserve it. So here we go. It's a free app, by the way, but it's absolutely fantastic. But by the way, it's if we can ever get Josh to get us a cool photo with a green shirt, I'll switch it up and try to do that. But like I said, we broke all-time highs this week a few times. I'm going to go over some of the fun stuff that I like. We'll get into charts later. We'll get into that for sure. You guys have questions, hit us up in the chat. Blow up the chat, frankly. But truth be told, Bitcoin all-time high. You outperformed the best hedge fund managers in the world. Congratulations. And it's true. A lot of people didn't put up with this. A lot of people tried to short this. A lot of people did not make it along the way, but you're here. We're killing it. And this is one of the good ones I found this week I wanted to share, because it's like hype, pump you up. You were right. They were wrong. It's time to go.
Yeah, I mean, just there's no intrinsic value to this asset. And now it's starting to be priced appropriately. So it has what's Bitcoin at 16,000? It has another 17,000 to go there. Duh. Really? Yeah, there's no intrinsic value to this product.
yeah, it's May 22nd, 2025, and the all-time high of Bitcoin is currently $112,000. So we're gonna keep enjoying. We're gonna keep the vibes going. Just as I have the all-time high Carpe Diem or Carpe Noctem walkout, not Carpe Diem. Sorry, chat. Cybro, what's up, dude? Not only do I have a go-to video, so does our friend Sherlock Hoddles. If you do not follow this dude, he's absolutely hilarious. You need to follow him. He's amazing. But here we go. I'm sorry, guys. Bitcoin's over $111,000, so we're gonna keep going with the vibes before we hit the charts. Sorry, not sorry. But moving on, this is another one. So POV, you held Bitcoin from 109,000 to 76K, and then we're back up to 109, baby. Here we go. I swear, I think this is an AI. This is absolutely fantastic. Dude went 12 feet in the air and landed face forward correctly on the back of that bull and rode him. So anyway, thought that was awesome. But back to the charts. Let me get the music going, and I apologize. I am completely unable to stream at this point without music in my ears. So shout out to... Get the volume down. Shout out to my guy's Body of Light. Love this dude. All right, so where are we at? This one picked up John Brown, March 28th, 2024. It's a really cool tweet. I forgot to like it. Ding. The path towards 110K will be cumbersome, but then we will come out of the thicket and enter a fast track towards 200K. And that's been a lot of the sentiment that I've been walking through the Rainbow Theory stuff through on their charts and where Bitcoin's likely going and how it's going to play out. We have a lot of walls we've been trying to break through, and we finally broke through this week. And now with the timing and everything, looking at the Mayor multiple stock to flow, it's looking like we're setting up for that final run. And he's right. The 110K wall was going to be crazy to get through, and but past that, we're in price discovery. I meant to show this earlier. Typically in the beginning of the streams, if there's a security event, I hit these up in the Discord, so definitely join the Discord if you want to be informed and join the best OGs. But we do alerts if there's like hacks and stuff like that. Sui was actually hacked this week, and I hope to God you already know about it and this isn't news, but keep an eye out. That was a pretty big deal, and that was a pretty major coin. They ended up Sui ended up confiscating or locking up, I think, like 3/4 of what they stole. Like 60 million of it ended up on Ethereum's chain. So it's got mixed feelings on that. Let me know what you guys think. I like the fact that they can punish hackers, but I don't like the fact that crypto coins have centralization to the point that they can retroactively modify the chain. So anyway, moving on. Another thing, since we're talking bullish momentum with the charts, and before we get to the charts, I got a few more things to cover about this mentality of where we're at. We're bullish. We've been bullish for a while when a lot of people gave up and called tops, and we're calling for like 30K targets. We're back above 6 figures. And you know me, I love the cows. I love the bulls. And I thought this was pretty cool. I was so cool, I just wanted to sneak it in here. It doesn't really have relevance to trading, but I didn't know cows wag their tails. But this gigantic bull smells the guy who raised him. And check this out. He's actually really at odds with him at first. Standoffish, and then he smells him, and then watch the tail. It's really cool. Realizes who it is. They're so cool. Yeah, that's awesome. So Michael Saylor dropped this alpha this week. If you're not buying Bitcoin at all-time high, you're leaving money on the table. If you guys know who Michael Saylor is, you need to pull out your Wikipedias. It's one of the largest holders of Bitcoin in the entire world through his organization, MicroStrategies. I think they own up to, it's roughly like 2.7% of all Bitcoin, all of it, under the company. And this dude, all he does is buy. All he does is buy. They generate funds and they buy more Bitcoin. And the dude's one of the goats. He's a goofy dude, but he's one of the goats. And this is really weird advice, but he's kind of right at this point. It's one thing to say it, but the key thing is here, Saylor's always bullish. Surprise, surprise. MSTR's always buying Bitcoin. Surprise, surprise. If it's up or down, they don't care. They buy. But remember, like a year ago, I really went into find your OGs. Don't go follow 100,000 people on Twitter. Find the OGs you can actually trust and then like learn how to read them. One of the OGs that I always point to is Carpe Noctem, Josh Olszewicz. I can barely spell it, sorry. And it's really, really a fundamental market advantage if you can understand the current mood of Josh. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's not. You got to figure out what the clouds are doing sometimes, but if you go off the vibes, Carpe Noctem's a pretty chill dude. And when he starts getting ecstatic, you really need to pay attention. And also when he starts getting nervous. We haven't seen nervous Josh yet, but we are seeing very hyped up, amped Josh. And you have to pay attention to this. I'm really good at reading the sentiment of Cell 9000. I call him 9K. I've got interviews with him back in the day. And I'm also very cognizant of what Josh is mood-wise. So definitely follow him. He's one of the greats. And we actually have an interview with Josh from way back in the day on the YouTube channel as well. You guys can check it out there. Really good stuff. So Saylor's bullish. Surprise. Josh is posting Kirby GIFs. That's alpha for you guys if you didn't know the Kirby GIF. And what he's implying here is Bitcoin is kicking ass and sucking the liquidity out of everything. Alts are bowing to the king. But as the title of this stream says, billion-dollar whales. If you guys are not familiar, a billion-dollar whale showed up, and it's real. The first billion-dollar position on Hype was registered a 40x long with a notational value of $1 billion. I believe it was 9 BTC on a 40x. For F's sakes, this is insane. I watched this hit and I was like, you gotta be kidding me, because he did this right when we were hitting the last bits of the all-time high order block, and it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know when we've ever seen a billion-dollar whale publicly post a position. Now, I understand a lot of the hype stuff is public regardless, but like, I don't recall this in any cycle, and it's absolutely insane. And the dude posted it, did not get liquidated, and we're up. And Mr. James Wynn, that's awesome. James Wynn real. Mr. James Wynn managed his position accordingly as a non-degenerate, right? Non-degenerate. He reduced his position like 20%, I think is what it was. So reasonably backed off the 40x billion-dollar position long on Bitcoin and took some profits, right? Yeah, he's... This position is currently worth 7,200 Bitcoin, and the P&L is up $19 million in less than a day. So I don't recommend anybody do leverage, because if anybody's asking about leverage, it's definitely not for you. But this is absolutely insane. Yeah, Cybro, YouTube, balls on the line, king. This is balls of steel. Could you imagine going to sleep with a billion-dollar position? Could you imagine doing anything with a billion-dollar position other than watch the chart? This is crazy. This is crazy. Yeah, he reduced the position of the value from like $1 billion down to 800 million. Risk management 101. Yeah, it's awesome. Anyway, moving on. What you guys are here for? The normal streams. We talk about crypto. We talk about charts, right? We're finally gonna see our first chart. I apologize, but these streams are free. I don't monetize them. So we're gonna chase some vibes over everything else. Hashtag pro streamer. This is sponsored by no one. So, our Bitcoin chart of the day. I say chart of the day. Should I just shrink that? I try to line that up with the chat, but you guys don't really need to see that. But then, whatever. Anyway, this has been this chart we've been watching for a long time. This was the other chart we navigated. Super high time frame. This stuff has been gnarly, but we've been killing it. You can call me jaded. Go check out the dudes in the Rainbow Trends Discords. They're not paid. You can go see them. They've been with me for years. They've been navigating the hell out of this market too and winning and killing it. You guys think the rainbow stuff's goofy? Stuff's legit, and we've been able to navigate some stuff a lot of other people haven't. Frankly, I still keep so this is pretty much done. This chart, right? I say chart. We're going into price discovery, boys and girls, and it's awesome. It's beautiful. It played out how we wanted it. It's on time. It's on schedule. I want to break this down for you because when you look at this as a normal human being, without all the markings and without the CEO of Coinbase on there, it doesn't always make sense. And even, frankly, with all this junk on the screen, it doesn't make sense either because you can definitely flood the indicators. You get too much signal. But I want to break this down because, frankly, as every range is formed, made, or broken, I always try to go back to, have I seen a schematic for this before? Is this something I've seen before, whether I've memorized a pattern in my head? Is it something that is a old Wyckoff chart? I don't know. This one was really weird. It's set up initially. We had a support order block. We had an upper order block. You could start counting your Wyckoff stuff. Here's your creek maybe forming. But it completely blew out. Completely. And it left us in an area here where there's no support or resistance. We didn't get any pivots here. We didn't get a lot of action. Frankly, we teleported from like 73K up to like 100K, right? And we came back into this no man's land, and it was like, well, the only previous area we have for resistance is this final order block of like 73K, and we definitely don't want to touch that or break through it, because by God, if we broke through this, I was going to get really bearish. And we got damn near to it, and then we reversed. And the only thing I could really pick up out of this, because normally I can pick up Wyckoff creeks, I can get the mountains, catch the creek jumps, SOSs, whatever. This one really didn't form that. It broke through this order block, and dudes, like, these aren't hand painted. This is like all the order blocks the algo's done. This is ridiculous. It's very clear this is a support order block. You see, like Trader Main do support resistance order blocks. That's what those are. We blew through it. And I was watching it, and I was like, man, this is kind of forming a Rainbow Theory channel walk, kinda. It's not the cleanest, but it is there. And we finally got the break. We started also tagging Rainbow Theory runnerbot bottoms. So the algorithm that tries to call tops and bottoms, you can see it here, top, 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 bottom, bottom, top, top, bottom, bottom, bottom. It fired off 3 bottoms roughly in this range to telling you, hey, this is probably an area to try to DCA into. Boom, boom, boom. You've seen the streams with Zen. That's how he does it. What's up, Mim? And we broke through here, and I was waiting for the fake out. Sometimes these channel walks will pop out, and then they'll break right through instead of showing some type of support. You can see it right here. This one popped through, and it broke back down. This one popped through and kind of went sideways for a while. And I was like, and you actually saw a lot of posts from Rainbow Theory stuff. We were posting about like, hey, we were back in April saying, hey, this is actually setting up to do a channel walk break. This is actually where you need to get long. Crypto Twitter was like super bearish. Like, it's over, pack it up, short this down to $30,000. F that. Listen to the real signals. Look what the whales are doing. The whales want you to be emotionally a wreck, absolute wreck, and you're their food. They eat you up. Every single chart, there's buyers and sellers. And I hate to break this to you, only 50% are winners, 50% are losers, right? There's not going to be that many people. You can't have all the people on the winning side. One team gets to win. It's not that the Bulls or the Bears win, but there's dudes trading. And 50% of you are going to be losers, and the 50% of the losses you take, feed the winners. That's how it goes, right? It's a give and take. It's a yin and yang. Rainbow Theory 101. There's layers of bullishness, there's layers of bearishness, and it all kind of comes back to an equilibrium, right? You can only go so fast for so long, and then everything has to take turns, right? A good example, Bitcoin doesn't go to $1 billion a day back to zero, right? There are limits, there are rules. Go back and watch The Matrix. Just like the agents having limits, so do whales. So we actually saw the channel walk break, and this was the signal. We got whale prints. Bam, bam, bam. We had 3 whale prints show up. And if you study Pixa at all, he's a big Rainbow Theory trader in regards to whale print clusters. That right there was the whale print cluster to say, giddy up, it's time to go. In addition to that, when those whale prints showed up, down here, this is an unreleased tool. I'm thinking about releasing it. I don't know. Let me know in the chat, because I feel wrong releasing something that a lot of other people have done. Albeit, I went back and a lot of the stuff with the other tools where people show the price differences between Coinbase and Binance, there was a lot of stuff I butted heads with, so I rewrote the entire thing and added some algorithms to it to like smooth it out and make it how I liked it. Might release this, or I don't know what to do with it yet. But so far, I've been using it in this range, and it's been working really well. And typically in the past, if you guys don't know, we tend to go to all-time highs when Bitcoin costs more on Coinbase. What does that mean? It means there's a really, really, really big buyer in North America that is buying on Coinbase and does not care about price execution. They don't care that Bitcoin is cheaper on Binance. They just want to buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, and they want to buy it now, and this pushes price. So right now, American whales have been pushing the price up, and then the rest of the world, I don't want to say Asian, it's Binance is kind of a worldwide market with everyone else, but this is where Binance steps in. So there's a yin and yang oscillation between the bulls and bears, and they're doing it on 2 different exchanges. The guys who sell are doing it on Binance. The guys who buy are doing it on Coinbase. So we're getting a flip between what's going on. And right now, we have a very, very sustained Coinbase run. Coinbase is gapping on average like $50 more expensive on BTC. And you're like, dude, Runner, it's $50 on a $100,000 asset. You're full of crap. Why would I care? Well, what you don't realize is there are market makers. There are quantitative whales that do market making on these exchanges, and their literal job is to keep the price balanced between Coinbase and Binance. They get feeless execution, and they sit there with bots and they balance the chains. That way, what they try to do, what their goal is to have the exact same price of Bitcoin on Bitstamp, Kraken, Blowfin, Binance, FTX, joking, across the board. And what you're actually seeing is whales buying and outrunning the capabilities of the market makers. This is a signal. Because frankly, what happens is think about it. What a market maker does, 101, if the price spikes on Coinbase and say Bitcoin goes to $130,000 for temporarily for like 30 minutes, call it $150,000, right? Some crazy blowout. But the price of Bitcoin on Binance is $100K. These are very extreme examples. The whales will sit there and automatically sell into Coinbase at the premium to bring the price back down. And they will fully execute and dump liquidity into Coinbase to bring it back. And they'll make a profit doing that. They'll take 100K Bitcoin off Binance, sell it on Coinbase for 150 until there's a level between the markets. This is what we're seeing right now. We're starting to see a consistent trend in this range. It's not something I saw too much in the previous range. Thank you, Armstrong. But we did see like some flows of it. We did see massive selling on the Binance side. But this move up out of this range we really saw this show up and we're like, hey, we have to pay attention here. And to be honest with you guys, if I keep using this tool, I'll probably do all this stuff to release it. You guys have no idea how hard it is to release a tool officially and do it cleanly. I have to do all the write-ups. I have to post it all. I have to check for unbelievable amount of typos, because once a lot of stuff's released, you cannot mess with it. Have to add permissions, all this junk. But if this tool continues to have signal alpha, per se, past this order block, I'll probably buck up and do the work to get it done. I'm behind on a lot of projects for Rainbow Trends and stuff, but anyway, that's the long and short of it. We're getting signals of what the whale's doing with the other tools, and we're starting to see it in the order books, what the balances are. So it's kind of cool. I say it's kind of cool. What you're listening to a rainbow whale talk about whales right now. A rainbow bull talk about whales, orcas, you name it, and rainbows at the same time with the market and tools that were coded for crypto. It happened to work on stocks and gold as well. Wasn't the goal, but it ended up working that way. But anyway, that's where we're at, right? We got the whale prints. We saw Coinbase come in heavy. That's the 101 explanation of the difference between what this kind of tool does. There's a lot of other dudes who monitor this, and they monitor it with different tools. The biggest difference is I added a smoothness filter. Shocker. I hate it when it looks like this. My eyes don't catch it as well, so I've added a smoothness filter to kind of make it nice and pretty, so you guys can have, so anybody can have adjustability, so you can kind of catch the trends and not catch the blips, especially when you go on the lower time frames. But moving on. We got this pump here, went back up. We retested this here. We could kind of argue that we saw a little accumulation cylinder. I love drawing these. Shout out Dop. Bam, broke through. We went straight into resistance. The last real resistance order block. We have a little print here, but this is the order block. The order block was 103 to 108. And I got really scared because if you know me, let me turn on the beloved HMA tool. That looks like a BART textbook. And I was like, man, I'm getting a BART forming in a resistance order block. Every warning in my body was going off saying, damn it, I hope to God this doesn't roll over, because if it does, these BARTs tend to fully ray trace their neckline or their headline, right? And thank God the whales showed up and they pushed this through and they broke through and we got a new all-time high, which I actually need to move up here, which is awesome. And now we're here. And you guys are in price discovery. Welcome to the crypto world. You guys are in the good times. And congratulations if you're here, because a lot of people didn't make it this far. I've been streaming for over a few years now. I've seen a lot of people come and go. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of cool things, a lot of crazy things. But it's looking like we're getting to the really crazy part of this cycle where you can have a lot of fun and potentially retire yourself. That's the goal. So anyway, it's a reminder. We're going to move on, but if you can, like, subscribe, blow up the comments. I'm chatting with all the dudes on YouTube right now. We got Cybro, Mim, Rafi. What's up, guys? Sean Mays. Nexus as well. Hello, Nexus. We love Nexus. So I'm going to leave this chart. We'll leave it. So, Mayor Multiple. Runner, what's your targets for this? I've got a lot of targets. And I've covered this in so many streams. And you guys are just going to have to go pull up the tools yourself. This is the Rainbow Trends Mayor Multiple tool right here. It's not the reversion bands tool. They're very different. Very different. This one has no machine learning in it. And I've gone through every single Bitcoin cycle there's ever been. Long story short, if you do the math, every single bull run, every single one has hit the red Mayor bands. What is a red Mayor band? That is a standard deviation over 2.0 of the Mayor multiple. It's impossible to visualize, or it was for me. So I made this tool so you could actually visualize Mayor multiple, because it's some of the greatest data on Earth, but people don't use it. Long story short, macro-wise, be really, really boring with Bitcoin. Buy the green bands, sell the red bands, and it happens every few years. Doesn't happen often, all right? Well, people were calling top. And here's your previous 65K. Boom. Hit it a few times, rolled over. That's all she wrote. This one, we got real close a few times. These previous two pumps, this one to 74,000 and then this one to 105, 108. Got pretty close to the red bands. I got a little worried because I thought that was going to be a little early because we almost hit the Mayer multiple before the halvening. That's the halvening there. The halvening was April 16th-ish, mid-April 2024. And Bitcoin had never seen an all-time high before a halvening. We did on that one. So that was actually, we're off the roadmap there, right? Off the roadmaps. But Mayer multiple is alive and well. And if we look at stock to flow, we look at timings, we look at markets and all that stuff, go look at Crypto Paradigm's tweets where he talks about the number of days between all-time highs. It's got, I forget, it's like 1267 or something like that. It's roughly in this window. And these are kind of the windows I did based off the market tops in regards to the halvening dates. It's in line with stock to flow as well as kind of like what I considered the windows, right? My windows kind of converge Q4 of this year, or I say from now, or June to November 17th of this year. Long story short, this is saying is we are setting up to peak somewhere in here. And if we happen to touch this 2.0 standard deviation, I will scream it at every stream. I will post Twitter stuff saying, hey, doesn't mean it's over, but it means the end game has started. Sometimes it's a few days. Sometimes you barely touch it. Sometimes you go way up here. But regardless, if you touch that red band, you have started the last innings of this beautiful 4-year cycle of Bitcoin. So enjoy the hell out of it because this is the last bit where everything goes parabolic, blows off tops, and then we do these crazy down runs. And you will cost yourself cycles if you don't take profit at some point. So right now, if you've ever bought Bitcoin, you're in profit. Short of crazy, degenerate leverage dudes, right? Or bears, right? So if we look at this 2.0 standard deviation, as it stands right now, it's about $187,000. Realistically, we can't hit that in a day or two. We can't hit that in a week. We have to kind of grind up pretty damn fast to get going to it. By the time we'd actually get there, it'd probably be closer to like 200-ish. So what it's basically saying is 200K is kind of the minimum we're looking at here. And you're like, dude, Runner, that sounds absolutely crazy. You're calling for $200 Bitcoin. Dude, it's 112 right now. People said it was dead at 70. They said it was dead at 40. They said it was dead at 30,000 when we had like 4 people in this stream. That's what the Mayer multiple says. I'm not arguing with this. I didn't write the Mayer multiple. I just figured out how to visualize it, right? So a good healthy target is like 2.0 to 3.9. We are going to sell into this hopefully and do pretty well. That's the goal. But anyway, that's the Mayer multiple update. We got a lot of stuff to cover today. So if you say I'm crazy saying, hey, $250,000 is kind of high, 400 is really crazy, well, the number one option on Deribit is $300,000 per Bitcoin. And you see Carpe Noctem getting a little snarky here. Well. Big Money is putting option trades at 300,000. That's higher than my current Mayer multiple targets. So keep that in mind. Looking at, we haven't looked at this in a little bit, Bitcoin ETF flows. Money is coming in. We're still waiting to see what happens today, but long story short, money's been flowing into Bitcoin. That's healthy. We want to see it. Now, I have PTSD from when I saw goofy stuff about miners on Twitter posting stuff. And I saw this week, and as much as I love this and I think it's cool, I'm watching a remote Bitcoin miner running off a Cabela's Deer feeder battery, and I had to warn him, D-Pin Nomad, you could be printing a top here. And he asked me, he's like, hey, what are you talking about? As far as I know, this is like a new thing, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I hear you. But when I see crazy stuff like people heating hot tubs with old S9s or heating, God forbid, chicken coops with old Bitcoin miners, I tend to get nervous, and I will tell you why. And they thought I was joking or just baiting him. And it looks like my reply is buried. Let me... Where is my reply? Did it get removed? Hold on. He just replied to me, so hold on. I gotta show you this, because... Yeah, there it is. So... Shout out minted value. This guy sells chart indicators. I wouldn't sweat the rage bait. Sir, it wasn't rage bait. I truly have PTSD over this stuff. Why? Because we were reading about Bitcoin mining being used to heat strawberries and chicken coops back in 2021. The price was about $57,000, and a few weeks later, it nuked all the way to $30,000. We have to be careful. There's a non-zero chance these crazy mining projects cause issues. If you think I'm kidding, that is a CoinDesk article from March 1st, 2021. They were heating their chicken coop to keep their chickens warm at the time. It wasn't, well, I guess winter, March, as well as keeping their greenhouse warm enough to grow strawberries. So, you think I'm kidding? I'm not making up the fact that there's chicken coops heated by Bitcoin miners, and then the price proceeded to fall by 50%. So I'm a little skittish. But speaking of miners, and that's our transition into talking miners, Bitcoin mining is still healthily moving up. It's what we want to see. Bitcoin mining isn't a really good one-to-one indicator of what the market's doing. A lot of stuff goes really weird with miners. But I will tell you this, in a bull run, you want to see the hash rate continue to go up. The instant price is going up and this is moving down, you really need to pay attention because something's off. The Bitcoin miners are risking off while price is going up. That's a counterintuitive move. Pay attention. It's happened before. Previous all-time high of like 65K, China banned Bitcoin mining and wasn't really public about it, and price tanked. But anyway, we're going to keep going. Let me check on the chat. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Sean Mays, 50-50. Yes. Yes, Sean. The LD, does Bitmain warranty cover chicken feathers on cooling fans? As far as I know, only the liquid cooled models. That'd be a hell of a thing to submit. Here's a broken Bitcoin miner and they find feathers inside of it. For sakes. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't rage baiting. I have issues with that. Now, I will say this too. You will see pictures at the absolute bottom. Because someone was, I'll take it back. One of my dear friends messaged me. He's like, hey, what are you talking about, like, Bitcoin mining causing a top? And I was just kind of joking. It's just like occasionally I would see ridiculous stuff and that's when we topped out. But I will say this. Miner capitulation does tend to be a real actual signal for the bottom, and you don't see it often. But what you will see on Twitter is pallets, wooden pallets with piles of mining equipment on it, and the miners will sell the equipment by the pound. By the pound, like it's a meat market. That typically is a real capitulation bottom. You don't see that till the very end of a market cycle. And you don't see it often, but keep that in mind. We don't see it often. It's kind of niche, but it is. I actually do legit consider that a signal, and I just consider the rest of the stuff fun and kind of engage with it on Twitter when I see people heating their bathtubs with S9 Bitmain miners. Anyway, moving on. Bitcoin. We're moving to Ripple, because I hate Ripple. But breaking, Ripple and Coinbase are now in a bidding war for Circle, the USDC company. Sources say Ripple has the upper hand at a $9 to $11 billion price tag. I will tell you this, I'm not a fan of Ripple for a lot of reasons. But we'll take a look at the chart. I will tell you this with confidence. It's impossible for this bad boy to hit $100, let alone $589, let alone $20. It's not going to happen. Go do the market cap and be really cognizant this damn thing looks like a BART pattern. Very much so. We have top signals, we have color rotations, we have RSI rotations, we have order blocks here, we have reversion bands printing top. If I turn on the beloved HMA part of the custom clouds and RMA and HMA tool, say that 10 times fast because I didn't say it right the first time. HMA karate chop on that as well. Textbook BART until invalidated. What does that mean? You know that a BART hairline is formed. You know that BARTs only move in two ways. They break up or they violently break down. What does that mean? You get to make a decision really, really quick, and you know what the whales are about to do. When you know what the whales are about to do, you as a trader get an advantage. This bad boy is about to retrace back to 73 cents, or it's about to go into quote-unquote price discovery. It's not there yet. It's not at all-time high, so it's not really price discovery, but we have not seen $3 XRP since like 2018, 2017. So you get guys trade this. This one's in action. This one is in play. This trade is not played out yet. You either get a really, really killer short, or you're going to get a volume impulse from hell here, and it's going to freaking rip. I hope it doesn't, because I'm not a big Ripple fan, but that's how this trades. Forget the token name. Forget that you like it or hate it. You see the volume impulse here, right? The whales do not care. Boom, 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 boom. Do you see the whale prints? Right? There's a lot of stuff here in the tools telling you what's going on. You guys just need to listen and learn how to read it. I wish I could make it simpler, but if you want, dude, guys, hang out in the Discord. Ask the dudes who knows what's up. So, what is going on here? It's the same thing. Volume is bled off. Not much is going on. And we're waiting for that impulse. Either you're going to get a ton of whale prints and a bunch of volume that nukes this thing, or it's going to pop and go up. It's a duality. There's no other option. That's what these do. So, good luck for the Ripple traders. Manage it accordingly. I tend to walk people through. I tend not to try to tell people what to buy, what to sell, what to long, what to short. I teach you guys how to read these tools and do the stuff that you guys do. I don't like shorting, but this is setting up for a potential short if it breaks down. You guys set your alerts, look at your tools, study this, play it when it moves. Or set it up for validation. You can hedge this as well. You can short with a stop loss, you can long with a stop loss, and it's going to do one of the two. So, moving on. As a reminder, I love sticks, by the way. Some of these normies actually want it really bad. So this guy's TikToking about living in a tent, betting on $200 XRP. You guys are going to call me an XRP bear. The $200 XRP implies that this is something like an $80 trillion asset more than gold. Go do the math of how many Ripple exists. There's 21 million Bitcoin and there's like 100 trillion or whatever XRP. You just can't support this. And they pitch a lot of stuff talking about China whales are going to come in. What happens when all the China whales try to buy when there's not enough liquidity? It'll blip, but it ain't going that high. So, sorry, not sorry. Back to sticks again. We have a serious thing going on in the bond market. And Sticks pointed out and cleverly said this: bond market collapsing while BTC is at an all-time high is absolutely hilarious, and it's true. If you guys don't know Sticks, follow Sticks. He's good people. So, I'm going to hand it over to Ray. We can listen to this real quick on stream. Let me kill the music and let me turn up the desktop audio. And I hope I don't blow your eardrums out. Here we go.
The bond market. The bond market is the basis. It's the backbone of all markets. It is the risk-free, meaning default-free, probably default-free, interest rate that determines what all asset returns are going to be. And when there is a breakdown of the supply-demand picture for the bond market, you see a certain type of market action. You see long rates rising relative to short rates. You see the currency go down. You see gold go up because there's a movement out of that bond market because there's a supply and demand imbalance. When that happens, that raises interest rates, and it puts the Federal Reserve and other central banks in a bind. That supply-demand imbalance, in order to deal with that, when there's not enough demand, they're torn between allowing interest rates to rise and have the negative effect that that has on markets and the economy, or coming in and printing money, essentially, and buying bonds in order to provide the demand for those bonds that aren't there, and that produces inflationary pressures.
So, long story short, that's the best way I could sum up, because I'm not a bonds guy, but I will say this. a lot of people I respect have been losing their damn mind over the bond yields, and we're going to cover that because we're getting great price action on Bitcoin. Welcome to the subscriber only stream. When price is at all-time high, it's good, right? Let me hit you up with some alpha there. Let me adjust the volume. I'm sorry. I have to listen to something. And I like this music. But that's the truth of it. Something is showing unhealthy signals. And that right now is the bond market. And we need to take a look at this because if this bad boy capitulates, we may not get that 185K minimum Bitcoin. And our beloved friend Zen posted this, and I thought it was pretty interesting. It's talking about, I'm not going to read it all, you can screenshot and read it, but it's basically talking about how more and more people are starting to use Bitcoin as a way to hedge against traditional markets, because if your quote-unquote risk-free market is the bonds, and they're getting skittish of bonds, dude, they're looking at stuff like gold and Bitcoin to ride into. And Bitcoin is slowly going from a risk asset to actually looking like a safe haven. We're having more and more countries play with it, use it. We're having more corporations use it, etc. We've got the ETFs now. We have the Bitcoin strategic reserves, you name it. Because this is really what people are trying to protect themselves of. U.S. deficit's going crazy. People are getting skittish of bonds. It's not a really good thing to see. This is the actual debt exploding. Debt's going parabolic, basically. And that big, beautiful tax bill they passed today, it passed the House. Hasn't done the Senate yet. Or is it that? It's past one of the, don't quote me, it's past one of them. Anyway, market's getting kind of scared and people aren't bidding bonds. And this is the US 30 yield. This is the yield given to it. The yield broke through 5% today, which is a very, very big thing. It basically means that no one has an incentive to buy bonds. If inflation is going to outrun bonds, they don't want anything to do with this. So they're increasing the yield rate of the bonds to try to get people to buy it. Like I said, I'm not a bonds guy, but in short, this is something we do have to watch. Because frankly, if the S&P 500 takes a nuke because the bond market dies, capitulates, we're going to see Bitcoin will go down. Short of it becoming the main safe haven asset, which we've been dreaming about for 10 damn years, hasn't happened yet. So I'm not betting on it, but you can see gold's still going up, $3,300 an ounce. People are looking for a safe haven asset. Japan's bond yields are skyrocketing as well. Japan's 40-year yield just hit the highest level in over 20 years. Markets are showing signs of stress. Keep that in mind. There's subtleties to this, but that's something we do have to keep in mind. I mentioned the tax bill. Tax bill is kind of looking like it's going to make it through both House and Senate and signed into law. This big, they keep calling it the big, beautiful bill, blah, blah, blah. This thing's huge. It will add deficit. There's no way around it. The deficit will continue to go up with this bill. So as much as we like tax cuts, etc., the real truth of the matter is you want a balanced budget. You need to have both sides of the coin on this one. You need to deregulate to allow the economy to grow. But at the same time, you need to also tax that economy. Otherwise, you're not going to get the deficit figured out, right? We have an imbalanced budget. Shocking, right? 101. But typically they want to cut taxes and then they want to increase spending, or try to level out spending, which doesn't work. You have to cut spending and you have to increase taxes to actually get the rates to where they need to be to actually balance the budget. Right now they're not there. So the market's calling, we had a Moody's downgrade. The market's calling out. It's like, hey, the debt is starting to be an issue. So pay attention. Anyway, moving on. I checked on the liquidations this week when we broke the all-time high. And I have to do an absolute shout out to the apes at this point. We're going to take a little break here and talk about the apes that are messing up. Bitcoin is going to all-time highs. And the liquidations are not one-sided. In 24 hours, there was $288 million in liquidations at this point for shorts. There was $168 million liquidated on bulls. Guys, round of applause. This takes skill. You are leveraged beyond belief if you are getting liquidated in Bitcoin all-time high breakouts. There's just no way around it. And I'm sorry. This is why I hate leverage. Minor thing. Texas passed a Texas Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and Investment Act. We'll see how that goes. Shout out Ted Cruz. Let's see what you're doing, you goofy dude. Speaking of goofy dudes, Justin Sun was on his way to the Trump dinner. And he did a shout out to Get Trump memes. So Justin is the main character in crypto Twitter that never goes away. This is the Trump NFT stuff, as well as the Trump coin. He's following two people. Who does the Trump meme people follow? I'm gonna click this, but who do you think it is? I'm guessing it's real Donald Trump or POTUS and Melania would be my guess. But let me know in the chat. We'll click it. I was half right. It's real Donald Trump's personal as well as POTUS. I guess they keep the Melania token on the other one. Cybro, yeah. Cybro's saying there's 100,000 or 100x MEXC leverage. Let's go. But if you guys didn't know, there's actually a crypto conference and there's a meeting with actual Donald Trump today with the POTUS. Justin Sun's there in person. He was live tweeting that Marine One just landed and Trump's about to walk in and talk crypto. I don't know what he said. I'm not watching this, but by God, we're going to go look at the charts and we can tell what he's saying. Taking a look at Tron, the coin I never trade. Machine learning bands on the pump there. We're leveling out. Market's bleeding out. When we see pink and cyans, 9 times out of the 10, my Rainbow Theory clients, they short or TP here. And then they wait for it to bleed out. And right now, this is a bleed to green. We sell pinks and cyans, and this is just bleeding out. And we're waiting to see what it's going to do next. It ate up some liquidations there, and we're pushing through. We're getting some top signals on the high time frame, and it's looking like it's trying to claw back up. But Justin Sun is there in a tuxedo hanging out with Trump. Maybe it's bullish. Maybe. I don't know. We've never seen Justin Sun with a president before in reality, so we'll see. Sam Bankman-Fried tried to do that with Biden back in the day, but ended up in jail, so results may vary. But be careful. Be careful. Remember Eric Trump with World Liberty Fi, which is their DeFi Trump team project thing. Told you to buy Bitcoin at 100K. It went all the way down to 77. And then he's come back and said, I hope you listen. This is just the beginning of the incredible ride. So he told you to long at 101K before a 25% pullback. And then, hey, I hope you listened. I was right. Da-da-da-da. Absolute Chad. This is just fantastic. I just love this stuff. So, same guy told you to buy Ethereum. Ethereum's doing great right now. But let's look at Trump coin. Trump's on the 4-hour. We had this huge pump here. If you guys don't remember what this was a pink and cyans moment. And lo and behold, it bled off, right? That's how we do with these things. This was an actual announcement. They said, hey, top 10, top 100, whatever, token holders of Trump, they're going to get to go have a lunch with Trump. So there was actually value into the coin. Right? Huge volume spike because people wanted to be top wallet holders for that, right? And they pumped. And it went all the way up into here. And now we've got it trying to raise up again. And man, maybe this bad boy's bottom. At one point, this thing was $67. And then a bunch of the exchanges got on it and it leveled out and it went down here. Now it's actually looking like it's fully bottomed. This actually looks like a decent setup. So we'll see. Maybe Trump coin's really gonna kill it, but let's with the yang. Let's look at the yang. Let's check on Melania coin. Down only. So shout out for Solana going down because I was unable to buy Melania when it went down. So that's kind of nice. But let's look at serious technical analysis with what the whales are doing with the Melania coin, right? Let's throw some Wyckoff. Let's look some Ichimoku. No, I kid. I'm not messing with this, but it's interesting. It's not doing well. But moving on, we're talking Degen. Robinhood listed Moodang. So, surprise, Robinhood is listing very niche meme coins. I personally didn't see that coming. Kraken is going to be listing stock markets on their trading platform through Solana. So that's kind of more degen-ish too. We're seeing stock exchanges offering crypto more, and we're seeing crypto exchanges offering stock markets. So that's cool. But let's look at the Moondang chart. Now, Robinhood announcement was pretty recent. Pretty recent, right? Can you show me on the chart where the whales who had inside information on the Moondang listing started to buy? Can you tell me? Do you see it? Do you see the volume? Do you see the whale prints? Do you see that absolutely killer bottom print before an ungodly move? This is luck that it did that, but 800% move on Moondang. Yeah, so people always have inside trades, so be careful. If you think you have an edge, unless you really, really do, there are people ahead of you, ahead of the curve, so be careful. But yeah, Moondang, very, very cool. Very cool. But we've transitioned from the majors. We've gone straight into the meme coins. We're going to transition to some serious alt talks. My beloved Dime, my favorite blonde-haired dude on Twitter with 2 cats, about to lock in the highest daily close ever on Bitcoin. Aren't you guys excited? Oh, right. No one owns Bitcoin anymore. And I wanted to point this out. Bitcoin's at all-time high. And what are the Discord channels posting now on TA setups? Alts. All they can talk about is alts. They're not talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going into price discovery. And everybody wants to talk about alts, not this. Then we're talking about Pepe. Then we're talking about WIF. But we'll transition into alts. The Ethereum guys, the Ethereum leaders, Ethereum co-founder Jeffrey Wilke just sent $262 million of F to Kraken to sell. So I will say this. The one other people are not interested is in Ethereum. So Mr. Vitalik coin, we'll move him to the side. We're going to switch this back over to 4-hour. I see a BART, and I don't want to see a BART because we had this crazy channel walk that finally broke after, what was this, 8 months? Yeah, December, 5 months, 6 months if you count the previous head. This bad boy, Rainbow 101, is saying this is setting up to a BART. It does the same thing we talked about Tron, one of the two. But right now, it's forming a BART hairline right under a mid-range resistance order block. I don't like this. I'm going to be very, very sad if this rolls over and starts going down while Bitcoin is going into price discovery. I'm going to lose it. Vitalik, please get this fixed. I'm highly regretting Ethereum buys at this point, so chill out. But we have to talk alts. What alts are doing well? Because Ethereum's kind of not doing well, even though it's kind of trying here. We'll move on. And one of my favorite guys lately, I'm calling this the Gainsey redemption arc, because I love these streams, because the dude couldn't be any more real, and I love it. And I want to show you guys. I'm going to turn the audio up so you can hear it. Here we go.
What am I missing about Hyperliquid that everybody loves? So basically, a lot of the centralized exchanges, their thing was, you have counterparty risk, as in like you deposit $1 million on a centralized exchange, they might steal it, but in return, they probably won't because they're all massively profitable and you have a lot of liquidity. Nobody used decentralized shit because they weren't liquid. Hyperliquid isn't like 100% decentralized, I guess, but it's more decentralized than centralized exchanges. Has a shitload of liquidity, you can see everyone's position, but most importantly, it made everyone rich. The last thing that made everyone rich, I think, was Binance. BNB, like, printed for everyone.
Yeah, so he's got a really good point there. Hype is staying around. It's not showing up for just a month or two, and a lot of people are using it, and that $1 billion position is on Hype as well. Hypecoin is sending it. Right now, it's going nuts. So, it's your initial launch, liquidity drop, consolidation before resistance, and then boom, now it's going. So we'll see. I definitely don't ever recommend longing pinks, let alone anything pushing into cyans, but we have something ripping here. Ethereum's not ripping, but this bad boy is. So keep an eye on hype. It's very, very valid that we pay attention to this. Another one, Fartcoin. Fartcoin's now we're coming back up. Non-stop seeing interactions with this on Twitter. You're seeing the machine learning algorithms here learning this. That's why you see these cyan bands adjusting. We're starting to figure out how fast this meme coin can move. And it's just a matter of if you get really good at trading, if you can actually trade this volatility. Top, bottom, top, kind of some greens. We're not really seeing the bearish prints. We're not seeing Fartcoin touch this band. Not seeing the traditional swings. This thing has momentum and it's rocking and rolling. So we'll see if this thing can keep going. But like you want trade the stuff that has a general direction to it, and the trades are a little bit easier. That's all I'm saying. So let me see where we're at. So one thing I wanted to show, because I saw this on Twitter and I really, really liked it. Bulbasaur Chads rise the F up. I chose Bulbasaur when I was a kid. And I thought Blastoise was fantastic. That hit me hard, and I wanted to show that because the Nintendo Switch is coming out next month. I think it's 3 weeks out, and I want to take a look at the Nintendo stock. Can you tell people are excited for the Switch 2? Switch 2 announcement was really big. The Mario Kart's going to be like open world, which is just a crazy concept. I can't wait to see that. Nintendo's sending it. Maybe they're going to go into price discovery. We'll see. But we're looking at TradeFi. We need to do an update. We've been covering the Tesla chart for weeks, months at this point. Full on bull, full on bear. Pinks to whites, bam, 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 and we've moved up. And so far this week, we hit 65% returns off the bottom here. Now, you're not going to get you can't catch these perfectly unless you're like super lucky. But there's a 65% range here that a bunch of the Rainbow Theory clients and traders killed. Did really, really well. I personally got my stop loss a little too aggressive and lost this trade. But we've been walking through this and showed you this is the entry. The goal was this side of the yin-yang, or this side of the reversion bands, and we went band to band. Is what I call it. Call these yin-yang trades. So I took a stop loss at break even with a little pullback within like cents. I was pretty pissed because I would have got probably 40% out of this trade. But that's me being real, and that's how the setup was, though. Go check the other streams. We watched this for a very long time and waited for this to at least print like a yellow candle with a rainbow rotation, and we got it right there. So that was at 243, and this damn thing went to 345, 350-ish. So anyway, what's up, Snake? Of course you want me to look at a very low liquidity coin. The other ones that have gone band to band, NVIDIA went band to band as well. That was another one we were watching. Boom, boom. Another one was AMD. AMD literally broke out of the channel walker and popped to the other side and did a 60% move. I wasn't watching this one, but Microsoft announced why they laid off a bunch of people. So I wanted to check that. Yeah, that's actually popped back up. And then Walmart announced, I think today, that they're laying off $1,500. I'm sorry. Microsoft announced they laid off like 10% of the company due to those employees being replaced by AI. So shout out to all those campaigns about 5 years ago that was teaching kids get into coding, because coding jobs are getting destroyed and replaced right now. Walmart announced today that they are laying off people in response to the tariffs to cut cost, which is going to be interesting because normally Walmarts are pretty empty anyway. So I don't know how you're going to cut cost and have no checkout people. But shout out Walmart. Price has not done so much of a reaction off that. I'm kind of actually shocked by that. But that's cool. Anyway, wrapping this up pretty soon. We're getting close. We're actually past an hour. There was another thing that hit Congress this week that you guys need to pay attention to. The U.S. Senate has officially passed the Genius stablecoin bill with more than 60 votes. I love regulatory clarity. The last thing I hate is Coinbase going up to the SEC and like, I think we're doing this right. Please give us guidance. And the SEC's like, F off. We're suing you. You know why. None of this is in writing. So they actually had this stablecoin bill passed, which is fantastic. And if you can guess who was dog-mouthing every Democrat who tried to vote yes, it was Miss Elizabeth Warren. And in general, I tend to feel that whatever she's supporting, usually the opposite is probably what I should be doing. And if I didn't announce to you that Bitcoin or stablecoin legislation passed, if you didn't see this vote yet, you'd have to guess based off her attitude here what actually happened. This lady hates crypto. So shout out to the senator with a net value of over, 10 figures, I think? 8, 7, 8. No, she's 9 figures, I think. I think she's not a billionaire. She's 9 figures. So anyway, but moving on, as you guys know, it's the end of the stream. The stream is not over though. I'm going to turn the stream off and we're going to go hang out in the Rainbow Trends Discord. Discord link is here. I'm going to drop it in the chat. Come hang out. I'll go share charts. I'll answer questions. We'll look at charts in there. We can go look at Spell in there. Sniping Snake. I'm sorry I missed it. If you have questions, concerns, that's the time to do the one-on-one with me and the OGs, but we're going to go head up over there into the Discord. There's no paywalls in the Discord, so come hang out. It's a good time. Looks like Rifu's already in there. But yeah, thanks for coming out. Congratulations. You're listening to a Rainbow Cow talks about whales and rainbows in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's over 111K. This is awesome. So anyway, much love to you guys. Thank you. Please hit retweet, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Drop a comment. It helps us out. We're trying to grow the YouTube and all the other channels.